From fending off an army to undergoing evolution once again, our spider has done well, despite having many attempts by Mother to call her back to the nest. And alongside the giant snakes, dragons, poisonous frogs, monkeys. Now, 6 are mannequins with a desire to kill. Deep in the labyrinth, there's trouble brewing. And on the human side, it's not looking much better. Let's find out how it goes. Sana horror. Well, your skills have increased is kind of doesn't really need to be said. When did she have time to make herself a handy little set of pajamas? Excuse me? Is there... Can you skip back a bit to the immortality? What are the limitations and uses of immortality? Within the system. And to think she didn't even have to transmute lead into gold or anything. Ah, bike pump. Champion. Merciless Monster Slaughter, Monster Calamity, Champion. Slowly gathering up those titles as well. Chump Peon. Ugh. Yep. How fortuitous. What a handy situation for you to crop back up. I'd almost forgotten that there's an administrator is just keeping a eyeful watch over the proceedings. I don't really remember much more on the side of the spider, at least, of that storyline. There's going to be an interesting fair few episodes. So the parallel minds are still out doing their thing. Slowly whittling down, Mother. I wonder if the human storyline is going to advance and catch up to this at any point. Would you want to? Even as a joke, I'm thinking that there is probably a fraction of reality to that. You're going to take the risk. Even with immortality, I'd think a spider destruct button from a administrator might be a bit much. Oh. Punch, punch, punch. Seeing a unique specimen evolve would be somewhat entertaining. One of the things that she is in dire need of. Information. Blah. Just straight up exposition, okay. And that happened to coincide with their classroom. But that does mean that there is a chance that there is a way back, because the Demon Lord and the hero attempted it. They couldn't handle it. Keep up the good work, Administrator. Hmm. She can say that, so she didn't think that there would be more. Although it didn't seem to. That's the question mark one. Didn't seem to help the ones that have already died, though. Almost. Yep, because they're still crawling about on all fours. I wonder what that was. Yep, you're independent quite a long time before any of them are. That adds another level to it. So if she was out shopping, perhaps, there'd be a whole bunch of random civilians that were brought in. So there are. The administrators are kind of like the gods of this world, if you think about it. Just keep your hands off of that spider disintegration button. Well, yeah, a giant dragon probably shouldn't be just wandering about a village like that. Rustic. He will be the one getting us through to the other side. Have has word of what happens in the capital spread out here? So yes, it has. If they were the masterminds of a plot to overthrow the kingdom, shouldn't there be more of them than just what, five? He will become a target as well. You won't do it. Do it myself. I'm not sure that would really fly in proper interrogation and whatnot, but can you just pass over the phone like that with telepathic conversations? Do they have to step outside? Isn't she just like the right? Yep, you stay here. I remember now. But wasn't that elf one the just like a helper maid girl? So why has she been in the labyrinth? No, no time can be spared in the planning. You could say it. You could say that. Better than a giant dragon. So she had got humanification, but kind of just standing in the middle of the forest without clothes. I mean, you don't have to imagine it, but used to be a dude, but that was in the past. Her attitude towards herself there hasn't really changed much after the years being spent in this world as a dragon. Because it's a skill, so she can somewhat choose what she looks like. Hmm. And how they've changed. They're the ones that haven't made it so far. Is withholding information at this point really helpful? Helpful. If you can't go in through the labyrinth through one of the known entrances, it's makeshift beach episode. So you have to fight through the sea dragons, base jump off a cliff, and that's just the entrance to the labyrinth. Is she stepping back to take a running jump? And though you, she can't swim. And though they're all in their swimming outfits and whatnot, they've still got to bring all of their supplies to survive the labyrinth. Because it does. From what we've seen, the earth dragons and the... Was it a fire dragon? The designs of the water ones shouldn't differ too greatly. But still, kind of free diving down into a entrance to a labyrinth, surrounded by monsters as well. It's going well. You may want to try to keep hold of your breath. Such elaborate conversations we've never had before. Remember, they are all still underwater holding their breath. Hyper beam. She's gonna need a rest after this, though. And why is it only her that's making noises? Well, that was lucky. Well, no prolonged injury sustained. A very welcoming place. But how has the ecosystem changed? Where did this music come from? Is that kind of thing allowed on TV? Well, she's now gained a new title. We've seen her build small residences with her silk. Now she's got a fishing vessel. Yeah, you've still got quite a few other creatures to sort out before they just come after you again. Also, is fishing in the ocean really a good idea? We just saw the giant water dragons. Um, what, you don't think much of this one? That dragon was rather static just then. She's gained a lot more confidence now that she's evolved, gained immortality and everything else. That was like the start of any random encounter battle. Did you think it would just stand still and let you do all of that? Open the floodgates. You can hold your breath. Buoyant. I wonder if you can eat it. That caught me off guard. Yeah, if she said, "Oh, I finally got back in contact," you may want to start running. It's a vast world and the ocean is big. However, it was going to come from the sea, not the ground. Demon Lord? Origin Taract. Well, you've just had a look at what is a possible future if the origin was also a Taract. She comes in peace. Not even a flinch, just straight up mincemeat. That raises some questions. So the thoughts were, the Demon Launchers could be a future variant of the spider that we see now. Unless this was just a dream segment type thing, which I doubt it is. I don't remember reading this. But how lucky is it that she obtained immortality just before being sliced and diced? And how exactly does it work? It's not like she can just respawn back at the last inn she slept at. And a lot of things raised here that either I didn't remember from when I was reading it, or I didn't get to those parts. The Demon Lord on the beach, the administrator from the class. The names of the students who didn't make it. But then again, I wasn't really going to remember 3 of them anyway. And her bringing up, is she going to be alright in all that water, made me think, remember when she hid herself in a bubble of healing gel? Does that healing past the, well, drowning. But our hero Enko, entering into the labyrinth, seeing the possible debris left in the wake of our spider after she's left, running, trying to evade capture, being labelled as fugitives. And all I can think is, Faye's human transformation, while admittedly isn't too bad, her wings will cause an issue when she's trying to sit down. And what was the unlock process to get that skill? Because so far our spider has completely overlooked it. Maybe she didn't use the search function. But if you've enjoyed this episode and want to see how Kumiko sews herself back together, you may want to come back for the next one. As we were told there, everyone gets a skill that's most complementary to them. So, what would yours be? The way my life is going at the minute, I think it would be something like astounding luck the longer I stay sedentary. But for the time being, subscribe to the channel to not miss out. Keep hold of all of your extremities. See you in the next one. If you want to provide invincibility to the underpowered mob that would be my channel, then consider joining on to my Patreon. All I know so far is that Sal, Raywin, Electricant, Tafia, Shiwan, Mecha, Jennifer Rojas, Stinsfire, Big Boy, Mads, Rasmus Poulsen, Girly, Dark Shadow 7899 and everyone else are much more than just the skill points to my character sheet. I just hope I don't have to go fishing at any point.